Shiny hunting is my favorite thing to do in Cobblemon, and with the Cobblemon 1.7 update adding in Pokesnacks, I thought my shiny luck was going to get even better. But the 1.7 update has been out now for over 5 months, and Pokesnacks aren't exactly what I thought they'd be. My name is Callie, and I have insane shiny luck here in Cobblemon. I am known as the Shiny Empress, and I love to share my shiny hunting adventures with all of you here on my channel, so definitely subscribe if you haven't already, while I share what I've learned about Pokesnacks for shiny hunting. What exactly are Pokesnacks? Well, you need to make a campfire, then you need to make a campfire pot. And to make a campfire pot, you're going to need a copper, a color of apricorn, and a piece of glass. And once you have made that, you can place it down on top of your campfire, and you get an advancement for we need to cook. If you want to make Pokesnacks, you are going to want either Moo milk or buckets of milk. Moo milk is so much better because they do stack on top of each other. And in case you want to know how you're actually supposed to get Moo milk, you're going to need glass bottles and a milk tank of your choice. Obviously, I gave myself a shiny one because why wouldn't I? And you just do this, and eventually they give you a lot of milk. And of course it stacks to 16, so then you can easily put it here into your campfire pot. And this just makes it so much easier. You can, of course, use milk buckets. Well, we'll just do bucket. And it works the same way, but you can't stack them. So it makes it more difficult because you can only then make one Pokesnack at a time and constantly have to go back and forth. You can obviously use a cow for this as well, but you can't get Moo milk from a cow. It has to be a milk tank. You put some Vivichokes in the center, you put a bunch of hardy grains along the bottom, and then you put honey bottles on either side, and you're able to make a Pokesnack. Make sure you don't use sugar. If you use sugar on the sides instead of honey bottles, you are going to make a Poke Cake, which has no use for luring Pokemon. It only feeds you, just like a Minecraft cake does. Now you can see these 3 boxes up here. These 3 boxes are for your seasonings, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Seasonings are super important for Pokesnacks to work properly and actually get what you want from them. So if you're a shiny hunter, like I am, we are going to want seasonings like Starf Berries. We are going to want seasonings like golden apples and enchanted golden apples. Obviously, getting that many in one go is a lot. Or you can also look at golden carrots, though this only boosts the rarity bucket. It has nothing to do with shiny hunting. So sometimes this is good, depending on what you are looking for. So you can adjust the seasonings however you want. So for example, enchanted golden apples are really expensive, but if you had a bunch of them, you could get a Pokesnack that reduces the bite time by 100%. You boost the rarity bucket by plus 30 tiers, which is incredible, and gives you a 28 times shiny chance. But say you don't have that many enchanted golden apples, because whoever does, you can then mix and match. You could put in just some golden apples. That drops your shiny chance down to a 12 times, and it only gives you plus 12 tiers of boosting rarity bucket. But honestly, that's still really good. Or if you have absolutely no enchanted golden apples, you can also use Starf Berries. So Starf Berries now with 2 golden apples will give you a 7 times shiny chance and boost the rarity bucket by plus 2 tiers. So there's a whole bunch of different combos that you can do depending on what you have access to in the time. For this one, you have a little bit extra of a shiny chance at 10 times, but your rarity bucket does drop to a plus 1. I prefer the rarity bucket, but that's because I've been hunting recently for some pretty rare Pokemon. Obviously, if we put in 3 golden carrots, you're going to boost the rarity bucket by plus 3 tiers. So say you don't have access to golden apples, you could potentially do it this way. You get a 9 times shiny chance and a plus 1 tier for the Pokemon rarity. But again, you don't have the 100% bite rates or reduce in bite time. So this might take a little bit longer to work, but it is an option for you if that is what you want to do. So these types of seasonings, this is what you're going to want for your shiny hunts. But one of the other things that I have found super helpful for shiny hunting is some type berries. So I recently underwent a very, very long hunt for a shiny Aerodactyl, and I use Pokesnacks to try and encourage more spawns of that ultra rare Pokemon in Lush Caves. And because Aerodactyls are one of 11 ultra rare Pokemon that can spawn in Lush Caves, I needed to craft a Pokesnack that limited which ones were being lured. I first started off using Charty Berries for the rock type Aerodactyls have, but that still meant a bunch of other rock type Pokemon were being spawned. So I then switched to a flying type berry. This greatly reduced the amount of Pokemon that could be spawned, as it was really only Archon, Archeops, and Zubat that could spawn in under those constraints. Of course, it is only a 10% chance for a type berry to lure in its typing, so you still get other Pokemon, but it certainly helped increase the chances of seeing Aerodactyl spawn. So let's make a couple of Pokesnacks here. We're gonna do just a few of everything, I guess. So let's make full golden apple one, and you're just going to click this button because the lid is now on and it will cook them, which is great. Also, I don't need to make two because I'm in creative, so I will take this out and now I have infinite. But you'll get alluring aroma. So we have one like that. Let's see, let's do a full enchanted golden apple one for all of you out there who are super rich. Let's try an electric type berry. I don't remember which is electric, but you know what? We'll figure it out. Let's do some walk-in berries for electric type. So we're gonna put that in here, and because we have enchanted golden apples, I somehow got rid of my starf berries, but that's okay, I guess. Let's just do something like this. And let me get my starf berries back. And we're just gonna maybe do a full starf berry one. That's just 13 times chance, so let's just put an enchanted golden apple in with it. So once you make whatever flavors that you want with the seasonings, you are golden to go and start your hunt in the location that you have decided to start your hunt in. Now that we know how to make a Pokesnack, let's talk about some of the things I don't love about Pokesnacks. First, if you have lots of Pokemon spawning in from your Pokesnacks and you're wanting to keep them for later, your Pokesnack luring may slow down or stop altogether. For example, you may also be using Cobblemon Unchained and want to do a streak with these Pokemon spawning in. If you place the Pokemon in boats, it counts towards the amount of Pokemon able to spawn in, and your Pokesnacks will stop working. So it's better to move these Pokemon in boats as far away from where you're hunting as possible, or simply let them despawn. Second, the cost of finding and collecting enchanted golden apples is huge, with the only semi-reliable way being ominous trial chambers. And with the little testing I have done, the result of using enchanted golden apples in your Pokesnacks, despite the high shiny chance, rarely results in a shiny Pokemon. I have found way more shiny Pokemon simply by exploring the world over using Pokesnacks, and it took me over 2,200 Pokesnacks to finally get my ultra rare shiny Aerodactyl. But let's get for ourselves out these Pokesnacks and let's see. My tendency when I am hunting is I like to kind of put them all around, and you kind of want to have as many as possible down, because the more you have down, the more chances you will have at Pokemon spawning. Which is why getting set up right in the beginning of your world to actually be able to make a whole lot of these is so important. That means getting those automatic farms set up immediately, like a bee farm for honey bottles, collecting all of the berries, and making an automatic hardy grain farm. We've gotten a Scorbunny, so that is actually kind of cool. I'm assuming it's because it came from one potentially, yeah, down there maybe. A little bit more rarity than the ones up here. These ones haven't gone yet, so that is kind of cool. Oh, look at that. We are definitely getting lots of rare ones. So they do, like, they work. They spawn in the Pokemon. It is great. But for shiny chances, sometimes you can be waiting a really long time for those shinies to spawn in. And that's definitely what I have found. The very first shiny Pokemon that I ever got from these Pokesnacks was a shiny Ditto, which, let's be real, that is super cool. It was a shiny Ditto. But it did take over 35 Pokesnacks for it to actually spawn in. So it was not a quick thing. And I even had some of the Pokesnacks having enchanted golden apples. There was ones with starf berries. There were ones with just golden apples. Like, I had a whole mix of them, and it still took over 35 Pokesnacks to actually get our first shiny out of it. So it was not a quick thing or a guaranteed thing either. Now, while of course there is things I don't particularly like about Pokesnacks, there's also some ways that Pokesnacks have been super helpful in my shiny hunts. Using the type berry to just gather more of the type that I am looking for Pokemon to be lured in faster, that was so helpful in my Aerodactyl hunt. And because I also had Cobblemon Unchained on the server, that made it even better because I would just have a faster sighting of my ultra rares that I needed and could just keep chaining them together. So I definitely think pairing it together with Cobblemon Unchained is the right method. If there's such thing as a right method, makes it more consistent, I guess I should say, if you pair it together with Cobblemon Unchained. You don't have to, you can still use Pokesnacks as they are and do what you can with your seasonings, and you will probably find a shiny because they do eventually spawn in. And of course, if you don't want Pokesnacks to actually do shiny hunting, they're obviously very great for just spawning in the type of Pokemon that you want to add to your team. You can do so many things with the different types of berries that we do have access to here in Cobblemon that can really just lure in any type of Pokemon that you want, especially if you're super into battling. So all you need to do is just look up all of the berries and they will give you all of the things that they do. So that's under the bait info there. You can attract defense nature, attack nature, special defense, you know, there's a lot different types of Pokemon. Just check it out if that is something that you are interested in, just to gather a Pokemon that you really, really want to have on your team, even if you don't want to do any of the shiny hunting. And who knows, you might get lucky and you might actually get yourself a shiny Pokemon. When I first set out to make a video on how to use Pokesnacks, I realized it wasn't as cut and dry as most of my other shiny hunting guides have been. And I knew I wouldn't be able to produce a video that gave out stats or concrete math about the shiny hunting odds of using Pokesnacks. I spent a lot of time in-game testing Pokesnacks to figure out the best way to use them for my shiny hunts. And so I knew this video had to come from my own personal experience and not become a step-by-step guide. I do think there could be some improvements with Pokesnacks, but overall they've been very helpful in different ways to my own shiny hunts. I know many of you have been asking for a video on Pokesnacks, so I do hope that what I've shared today will serve you well in your own shiny hunting challenges. So whether you're hunting for a new shiny or whether you are hunting for a specific typing of Pokemon, Pokesnacks could do that for you. It just might not be a very fast situation, and it definitely does not guarantee you a shiny in any way. While Pokesnacks may not work perfectly now for your shiny hunts, with a little bit of patience and a whole lot of luck, you are bound to get a shiny or two. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. If you'd like to see my biggest shiny hunt using the Pokesnacks, go check out my shiny Aerodactyl video that's on the screen now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.